Steve Jewin, MMA Mania.
Hey, Steve. Dan here.
Hey, Dan. How's it going?
You all set for Keri?
Sure thing.
All right. 1 second, please. All right. You're on with Keri. Go ahead.
Keri Melendez, how are you doing today? This is Steve Jewin from MMA Mania. How are you?
Hi, Steve. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm excellent. I'm glad to be talking to you today about a big fight you've got coming up here at Bellator 201 on June 29th. But help me figure out a few things, because originally I thought you were fighting Tiani Valle, and now I see you're fighting Tiani Valle. So was that the plan all along, or did I just have bad information?
I think you just had bad information all along. When I got the fight confirmed, it was against Tiani. I'm sorry, I don't even want to pronounce her name wrong. Tiani Valle. Tiani Valle, I'm pretty sure that's her name. There was no Tiani Valle.
Okay, well, somebody must have just put that on Wikipedia as a spoof then. You know how that goes sometimes.
Yeah, I was like, who is that? I didn't know if they changed my opponent. I was like, huh?
No. So that is your original opponent then. And it also switched from being on the main fight card to the prelims. So I didn't know if that was a mistake either or not.
No, that's not a mistake. I wasn't going to be on the main card for this show. I was working through my injury, and initially I really wanted to be on the May 12th Bellator card, and they had me set up to do that May 12th card, and my injury was lingering, and I had to call them and let them know that, you know what, I can't confirm this May 12th card and I need to push it back. But I would like to push it back for the next card as soon as possible. So they were really accommodating, and they said, you know, we can put you on the next card, but we're going to put you on the prelims. And I said, that's fine. I just want to be active and I want to get going, and I'd love to be on the same card as the girl main event.
Well, let's talk about that knee injury a little bit. Describe what exactly was the setback and how you've recovered from it and how you're ready to go now.
Before my last fight, in June 2017, I was going to be on that New York card. And I was about 6 weeks in from my training camp, and I had 4 weeks left. And I ended up just tearing my ACL, doing some wrestling. And then I had to get surgery, and I decided to get it right away so I could get back. And so that's what I've been doing, but pretty much I'd be out for a year. And at the end of January, I was able to box. So I was super stoked and thought I'd be able to come back sooner. But it's been grueling to get back and just to get back to par where I wanted to be. So the injury did take a little bit of a toll on me, but it was a torn ACL, and I ended up getting the surgery, and now I'm good to go.
Well, I'm glad you're 100% now, and you wouldn't want to be less than 100% with a torn ACL, because not only do you need that knee to be strong for your striking technique, you also need to be able to grapple and block takedowns, so you can't go in with anything less than 100% on both knees.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, we know your striking technique is up to par because you had an excellent kickboxing record before your first Bellator fight, and then you defeated your opponent in just 47 seconds at Bellator 165, so your striking is definitely top-notch. But would you say during that time off we've even improved more?
I believe so. It gave my body time to rest, and it made me hungrier than ever to get back to doing what I love to do and to get, be active, and it's my turn in this Melendez family to get going. So I definitely feel better than ever.
On that night in Bellator 165, nobody was happier than your husband Gilbert. He was just roaring. He was like, it's time for the women to shine. It's time for Keri to shine.
Yes. Gilbert is very supportive, and he's been amazing this fight camp also.
How's he doing lately? What's his schedule like coming up?
He's doing well. We decided at the beginning of the year that I was going to fight first. So he, agreed that he'll fight second. So he's just letting me be my head coach in MMA and helping out in the household, helping out, with our business duties, and we're team working this whole thing. And he's doing well, and he plans to fight after me.
So we can look forward to something like later on down the year, like maybe UFC 228, 229, somewhere around there?
Oh, yes, hopefully by September, because I want to get going another fight also. So I hope he fights by September, but I'm not too sure yet. We're just going to focus on myself, and then right when this fight's done, we're going to figure out what's up for him next, when he plans to fight. But hopefully by September, and then I can get another fight in before the end of the year.
That sounds like a good plan. But speaking of focusing on your fight, let's talk about Tiani. What do you know about her?
I've done some video online research, and she seems to be a great boxer. You know, she's a striker, and her first pro MMA fight, she TKO'd her opponent, I believe, by some knees. So she's definitely a striker, predominantly a striker, and I'm excited to go out there and to battle against a striker. And she has a amateur record of, I think, 8-2 or 8-4. I don't know. There's not too much about her, but I've seen some video, and to me, her strength is her boxing, and that it excites me.
What is it like when you have a kickboxing and a Muay Thai type of background and you face somebody who is more of a traditional boxer? How does that fare style versus style?
Well, I like that. I believe, you know, that Muay Thai, there's just, and I think she's actually a good striker all around. I just think her strength is boxing, but I think Muay Thai fighters have, you know, use all their weapons, use their legs, use their elbows, but I'm expecting everything from her. I think her strength is her boxing, but I'm expecting a well-rounded fighter.
Absolutely. But, you know, that's what you just said is what I was thinking is, you know, the art of 8 limbs, as they like to say. You can strike from every different angle, whereas if somebody focuses too much on boxing, they might only be thinking about their hands.
Yes, exactly. But, you know, she knows and I know we're in an MMA fight, so it can go anywhere.
How do you feel about your MMA career so far? This is only your second pro MMA fight, but like I said, your first one was such a spectacular performance that we were all dying to see you get back in there again.
Yeah, you know, so far so good. My fight went well, but just having an injury is just not fun at all. It definitely just set me back, and I didn't have that in my plan. I didn't have that in my little 3-year plan I had going on, and it definitely deterred some of my goals. But now we're here, and it's a year later, and I'm ready to get back going and staying active.
Speaking from one person who had surgery on a torn ACL to another, I know that could set you back a long time because I wore a brace in college for almost a year before I was back.
Oh my goodness. So you know my pain.
Yeah, all too well. And a friend of mine who I do an MMA podcast with, he also had a torn MCL. So we've all been in this club. It's an unfortunate club.
I know. We don't want anyone to join our club, but it happens.
Right. So what's the timeline? You've mentioned the word timeline several times, but what's the timeline to get to a women's title fight? How long do you think that would take?
You know, I'm not sure because I'm fighting at 115, and Bellator is awesome by allowing me to do that. And I know they're focusing on the 125 division, so I would have to move up if I want to try to fight for the title. And I'm just going to see where it takes me and still fight at 115 as long as they allow it. And if I need to move up, then I might have to try that. And then we can talk about the title. But hopefully they open up a 115 division.
That's kind of what I'm thinking, actually. It's like, why not create that title? You know, they did it for Ilima-Lei, and she won the inaugural title fight, so they could create a belt for your weight class, and you could fight for the inaugural title as well.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
In that case, what would be your ideal opponent for an inaugural title fight? Who would you like to fight the most?
My goodness. I haven't really thought about that right now. I'd have to take some time to really map that out. I know Valerie Letourneau is fighting at 125. It would have been awesome to fight her at 115. You know, Denise Killhold, she's an amazing kickboxer, and I think eventually down the line we're going to end up meeting. And you know, I might have to just move up to 125 and play around in that division.
But do you think you would meet Killholtz in MMA or kickboxing? What format would it be?
No, I'm not too sure. I think we should do MMA.
I'm down for that. I hope she is too, because
Yeah.
like you said, she is an awesome kickboxer. She's got great technique, and I want to see her exercise a little more of that in the full rounded discipline of MMA.
Definitely. I think she's awesome, and I look forward to when she fights. And I think she is fighting at the 125, so I'm not sure if she likes that weight or not, but you know, we'll see where I go after this one.
And you mentioned,
but right now, I really am focused on Tiani. I definitely respect Tiani, and I'm ready for a full game opponent, and I'm ready to go. I wish it was next weekend.
Right. We got a long way to go till June 29th. But in the meantime, since you mentioned Valerie, I want to say that she told me she's very happy that she doesn't have to cut to 115 anymore. And weight cutting has been a very big talking point in the last week, as I'm sure you're aware. So how do you feel right now about this whole morning, afternoon, whatever time weigh-in issue?
I didn't have a problem with the other weigh-ins, but maybe it's because I don't have to cut as much as other people. But I just didn't like how we have to do an early weigh-in and then we have to do a mock weigh-in. It's pretty exhausting to have to wake up early and make weight and then, get rehydrated, fed, and then come back and do a mock weigh-in. Why can't the 10 o'clock be the regular weigh-in? Let's just get it all done and then we can have a full day of rest and recovery before the fight.
Right. Or even have, if they're going to do a 4 o'clock ceremonial, just make it not ceremonial. Make it the real weigh-in, one way or the other.
Yes. So, but I know a lot of fighters want the early weigh-ins to have more time to recover. And, I'm just for whatever the fighter wants, all the fighters want, because I can do both. I like the 10 o'clock and I like the 4 o'clock. I didn't mind either way. Me personally, it didn't affect me. I just don't like doing both.
Do you feel some fighters are trying to take too much advantage of a morning weigh-in, that they're maybe trying to overly cut too much weight and having problems, then trying to rehydrate or possibly even being medically disqualified?
Gosh, I wonder, because it's hard to, when you're cutting weight the night before, it's hard to sleep. So I like the fact, I like cutting the day of in the morning a little bit more so I can get a better night's rest, instead of waking up at 5 and doing a couple more pounds. I like the later weigh-ins, but I'm not against the earlier ones. Which the majority of fighters need, I can do either one. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure if they're taking advantage of that. I don't really know.
Well, there's a lot of moving parts to this whole issue, and there's a lot of people with a lot of opinions trying to weigh in on it. So we're going to see how it shakes out in the future. But in the meantime, it's going to be Tiani Valle or Tiani Valle. I'm not sure how to pronounce it either, but I know that you're looking forward to a great fight with her here on June 29th.
Yes, I am.
Well, before I let you go, Keri, I'd like to say thank you for the time today. And I also want to get any plugs, any sponsors, any shout-outs that you'd like to give, social media links. Please go ahead.
Oh, thank you for having me. And just, I'm horrible at this stuff, but you can look me up on Instagram, Keri Melendez, 415, Facebook, Keri Taylor Melendez, Twitter, Keri Melendez, 415, and of course my gym, the El Nino Training Center, everyone there, and also all the support from my team. All my sponsors, Action Pro Gear, local food. Oh, gosh, I know I'm forgetting so many things, but just for all the fans and all the support, thank you.
No problem. And I'm sure anything you didn't mention will be on your fight banner. So give all my best to your husband, Gilbert, as well. I've been following his career ever since the Strikeforce and WEC days. So he's a big part of my MMA life, and I hope you'll be a big part of everybody's MMA life going forward.
Oh, thank you so much. I'll let him know. I know he appreciates that.
No problem. Have a great day, and see you on June 29th.
Thank you. You too.
And thanks, Dan, as well.